Hey there. Today was the day that I was going to finally get the last of the Criterions I had coming for a bit, so I was going to do like as promised earlier, just basically a review of the Criterions that I've gotten so far. And although that didn't turn out the way I wanted to, as on the previous video there, let's do it anyway. I did manage to catch a few Criterions recently that surprised me for very, very cheap. And let's look at my collection. Now, heads up, this will be much more modest than most people's Criterion collections that are on here. I just want to get some stuff that I really liked. A Night to Remember. This is my favorite version of Titanic. Of course, classic British film. And I thoroughly love this. There are some great features on this. If you have never seen this, really highly recommend you pick this one up. It's Roy Baker, of course, that directed this. And if you Google Roy Baker, you're going to see that he's probably done some of your favorite British horror films. Next up was actually one of the first Criterions I got. And at the time, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it was Criterion. And that was Peter Weir's Picnic at Hanging Rock. Yeah, that Criterion collection thing should have kind of let me know. But I was at a yard sale. No, I was at the flea market. We used to have a flea market at the big mall that we have here. And when we did, it was a huge, fantastic flea market of epic proportions. Every week you found something cool. From a DVD to Doctor Who to some Corgi Doctor Who limited edition figures. Just some really cool stuff. Unfortunately, the flea market went out of there and it split into 2 or 3 different smaller flea markets, and it really hasn't come back to the same since. Usually around this time of year, though, and as it gets closer to Christmas, there is a flea market that's pretty close to me that does have some pretty good stuff. But this here's Picnic at Hanging Rock. It's the first Peter Weir movie that I remember seeing, and I was entranced by the visuals in this one here. It was a great film, frustrating film to watch at times, but it's one that I came back to, and I found that I got more out of it, like in repeat viewings. Now that's me. Like some people are gonna look at this movie and get to the end and like just scream in frustration. I totally understand that, but it's just something that I personally liked. By the way, those were numbers 7 and 29. Next up is one that I actually bought for my better half, and I'm really glad I got it because it's one that I love as well. And it is the 39 Steps, Alfred Hitchcock. This, of course, is one of Hitchcock's early British films before he came over to America. This is Robert Donay. Robert Donay, right? Yeah. Robert Donay and Madeline Carroll. And again, it is a great set. There's some great stuff on here. Hitchcock, the early years, is a cool little short documentary. I'm a really big fan. We've got a Sirius, well, XM radio. And we listen to Channel 82 almost all the time. And what Channel 82 is, it's the radio classics. So it's all like radio gems. And on here it's got the Lux Radio Theater adaptation of this with Ida Lupine and Robert Montgomery in the roles. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I listened to the Strangers on a Train about a week or two ago, when I was in driving in the car. And that is number 56. Next up is number 142. There, I'll remember it this time. Won't forget it this time. And that is another Peter Weir film, The Last Wave. A very different film. Peter Weir is directing Richard Chaplin this one, and basically it's about this Australian liar who basically has to take defense of these Aboriginals that are accused of murder. The murder, though, is something that is it's natural in their tribe. But of course, it doesn't work in real life. In societies, there's some great like foreboding horror, very nature apocalyptic. And as Peter Weir always does, he never gives you a clean-cut answer on what exactly is going on. He really leaves that up to. Some people think that's kind of sloppy. I think it's kind of cool, and I really did enjoy this one here. Now, the guy that sent me the 2 movies tonight from eBay actually apologized and offered to give me back the money if send them back, or just give me back partial money if I just want to keep them. His apology sounded pretty sincere, and it seemed like he didn't do it on purpose, so I decided this time I'd let something like that slide. Because this movie here I got from him, and it was in immaculate condition, I have to say, and it was a Criterion one as it was supposed to be. So sometimes I'll that's the grace. Look at that. That's 142. Tunes of Glory is a really incredible film. This is number 225 in the Criterion Collection, and I found this one at at one of those charity shops in basically for the pet shop down the road, and really good British film, a war film. Tunes of Glory basically is, as I mentioned before, it's the bagpipes that you hear in during the war. And it's got Sir John Mills, Charlotte Guinness, directed by Ronald Neame. Incredible film. It's something that definitely should be owned if you like those type of films. I mean, it does get a little depressing there near the end. It is a drama. It can be pretty heart-wrenching, and it's not for everybody, but I like those type of movies, so definitely for me. And with Halloween coming up, I could not resist the Criterion Collection 226, and that was the other one that I got from the guy that I also got the movie shown today, and that is Loony Baba, one that I adore. I find this to be one of the most beautifully shot films. I mean, it's just it's got the lyrical look of an early horror style. How do I put this? Almost, just think of it as Japanese expressionism. A silent film without that actually has words. It is an incredible film. I found actually the mask in this very creepy, which some people find actually funny that I of all people find this get creeped out by this, but I really do. Next up, this has been my favorite Criterion find thus far, and well, one of my favorites anyway, and that is Videodrome. That's number 248, and I really love Cronenberg's work. Videodrome is a amazing film. It's a classic, and it's a classic that came out in my era. So I can actually remember seeing this one in the theater back in 1983, and incredible stuff. And just really, really incredible stuff. Pays to be Canadian sometimes. Next up was one that I found at a pawn shop. Only went to grab one disc edition because although I do like the film, it wasn't something that I had to run out and get the Blu-ray for. I mean, like if I run across the Blu-ray for like $4 or $5 or something like that, I'll get it. But The Life Aquatic is number 300, and this is one that I really wanted for my better half. She is, after all, was trained as a marine biologist, so just a fun little film. Next up is the latest one that I actually found, and I can't believe I found this one for $2.99. And at the time, I think there was a sale going on. It was an hour-long sale. It came out for like 99 cents, and it was number 349, and Kicking and Screaming by Noah Baumbach. I can't believe I went and found this at a Value Village. Man, just seriously, I mean, I found this thing at a Value Village that blows my mind, and the quality is freaking incredible. Great film. Definitely a classic of the mid-90s. And, you know, still blows my mind that I got Quadrophenia at a Value Village. The Rhino version. Incredible. Next up is one that I've been wanting for a long, long time. And on almost every horror site that I've been on, because I used to be on a lot of horror forums, and I ended up basically, I was not a fan of Halloween 2. I was not a fan of the Dark Knight, and that made me very unpopular on a lot of the forums, horror forums, and I got really ragged on for a long time. Anyway, 539 is the is House. I just really love this Japanese film. Again, if anybody watches my stuff, you know that I really love the visually nightmaresque, dreamlike films, Phantasm, House, just Loony Baba, just movies like that. I find sometimes you can it just adds another layer right onto it there, and I just love this film. Next up is a classic, and one of the great. I actually got this for my dad, for a copy for my dad. I ended up going back and getting a copy for myself later on. Actually, it's not true. My better half ended up getting a copy and surprising me with it, like she always does. She got it for me on Father's Day, which was kind of cool since I had a movie that I had gotten for my dad. And it's the Blu-ray of The Night of the Hunter, number 541 in the Criterion collection. And anybody that knows film knows how important this movie is in the horror noir genre. It is such a beautiful film, and it is so creepy and so well shot and so well acted, and it almost makes you want to cry that Charles Laughton only directed this film. Next up is the classic Charlie Chaplin film, Modern Times. This would be the last film in which he would play the tramp. I have a lot of, I've got a few Charlie Chaplins in my collection, but I really, really wanted this one. I will be getting more down the road, definitely. Although I do have the Gold Rush, I do want to get the Criterion version of Gold Rush down the road as well. Modern Times is a great film, and there are some amazing features on this. 543. Next up is Blowout. Again, this is probably one of my favorites. This is one that I remember from back in my day. This came out in '81. I did see this one in theater too. 562 in the Criterion collection. Anybody ever wondered about John Travolta's acting chops? Watch this movie. Nancy Allen is great in this film, but the movie is stole by John Lithgow. Amazing. And I didn't realize that before, but the hour-long interview with Brian De Palma, and it is a riveting interview, is actually done by a filmmaker, Noah Baumbach, the most recent one about. Kiss Me Deadly will always have a big place in my heart. Ralph Meeker, as Mickey explains, Mike Hammer, and this is an incredible film. If you haven't seen it, really go pick it up. It is a great Criterion. It's number 568. This is a Blu-ray edition. I love the way it has the old pulpy cover for the cover of the Criterion. Gotta get through the rest of these pretty fast. So 575 is The Killing with Stanley Kubrick. It also has Killer's Kiss on this. Another great Criterion if you're into the film noir. Yeah, this is one you gotta have. I like French cinema. Very big on a lot of the stuff like Coteau and Bonnel, and John Vigo was the guy that actually, he was one of the founding fathers of French cinema, and his entire work is on here on the complete John Vigo collection. Really, I really highly recommend you pick it up. It's a great set. But if you're into horror, this is what you're going to have. Rosemary's Baby. This is number 630. By the way, the last one was number 578. And this is a Halloween must-have classic. Halloween's coming up. Watch Rosemary's Baby. Next up is another horror thriller, 637, The Purple Noon. This was the first edition of The Talented Mr. Ripley that was ever done. Patricia Highsmith also did the fantastic Hitchcock film which she wrote the movie that was based on, Strangers on a Train. Next up is an actual Hitchcock film, The Man Who Knew Too Much. This is the original classic 1934 version. Of course, there was a 1950s version. I do have that as well. That is not Criterion, but it is the Universal release, and it's pretty cool. This one is as an interview with Del Toro, and some great stuff with Peter Lorre. I love the cover of this one. The art in these Criterion films are amazing. And last but not least is one of my favorite silent actors of all time, Harold Lloyd. Safety Last is one of my favorite movies, and there's just some incredible stories behind this. Love this movie. It's got a 108-minute documentary on Harold Lloyd. Really check it out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And right now, my throat's going, and it's time for tea.